So, welcome to Second Saturday Satsang, my friends and brothers and sisters. Satsang, as you know, is a Sanskrit word meaning in the company of truth. And we come together to sit in the company of truth, to study spiritual principle, to raise our vibration, to clear our energy fields, and to be in community. So, namaste, all of you. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the divinity within each of you and within myself. That's what the word namaste means, of course. It literally means the divinity within me salutes the divinity within you. And the ritual of arati, the waving of the light, is a formal recognition of this salute. And I would like to, I have a candle here, and I would like to do that in it formally here. So I worship the light that is you in the divine. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya, Shiva. 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 So let us invite our guides and teachers from the higher planes to join us now. And we feel them as they're coming in. We ask for clarity and wisdom. We bring a beginner's mind and an open heart. And together we acknowledge the presence of the masters, the grace of the guru, the blessings and guidance of Mahavatar Babaji. Satguruna Maharaj Ki Jaya. So today we're going to talk about Indra's Net, not Indira, Indra. Indra in the Hindu and Buddhist tradition is the king of the gods, the king of the heavens, and he is said to spread out a net of light that goes infinitely in all directions, creating a matrix of infinite light. And Indra's net is said to have a multifaceted jewel on each of the vertex, where all the strands come together. There's a multifaceted jewel, and each jewel is reflected in all of the other jewels. Isn't that beautiful? The best description I found of this was actually on, believe it or not, a Unitarian Universalist website. And I want to read it to you, part of it. It's a traditional Buddhist and Hindu story. It says, far, far away in the abode of the great god Indra, king of heaven, hangs a wondrous, vast net, much like a spider's web in intricacy and loveliness. It stretches out indefinitely in all directions. And at each node or crossing point of the net hangs a single glittering jewel. The sparkling jewels hang there, suspended in and supported by the net. So I'd like you to just close your eyes now and imagine what this magnificent jeweled net looks like, spread across the vast expanse of space. And keep your eyes closed a moment and move in close to one jewel in the net. And look closely And you will see that the polished surface of that gem reflects all of the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Just as two mirrors placed opposite each other reflect an image ad infinitum, each jewel reflected in this gem that you are gazing into also reflects all the other jewels, so that the process of reflection is in itself infinite. So open your eyes now and know that you are a sparkling jewel in Indra's net, excuse me. And in fact, we have a word for it, don't we? We call it the Mula Purusha. The Mula Purusha is the interior light, the original being, if you will. That's what the words mean, original being. And it's that thumb-sized flame in our hearts that connects us on the light plane to everybody. So every jewel, every person is connected with all of the other jewels in the universe, and each one of them has an independent place within the net, and we all reflect and influence one another, right? A change in one jewel, one person, produces a change, however slight, in every other jewel. Now, we don't notice that, but whatever you do to one jewel affects the entire net as well as yourself. Now, if you're an empath, you notice some of this, but it's going on whether you notice it or not. You cannot damage one strand of a spider web without injuring the entire web. You can't damage one strand of the web of light without injuring all others. That's part of that. And so that injury, whether it's known or unknown to the person, is the truth of what's going on, right? This can work for good or ill, because of course, just as destructive acts affect the entire grid, the entire net, so do loving, constructive acts and acts of kindness affect the entire net. I remember that movie, Pay It Forward. I loved that movie because it was a movie about a little boy who decided to pay it forward. He got everybody else to participate with him. And when that movie came out, people were doing kindnesses to each other. I remember going through a toll booth and somebody had paid my toll. And it was an act of kindness. And that was what was going on there. And that movie raised the vibration of consciousness for a while, but we always have that. We always have that available to us, don't we? It sends positive ripples across the infinite net when you do an act of kindness, when you send love in your heart. It touches every person in existence. So Indra's net is, of course, a metaphor for the matrix of life. It's the very basis of life. And the net of life, the net of light, Indra's net represents the inner penetration and the intercausality of all of life. If one piece of the net is affected, all of life is affected. This is constant, so we don't typically notice it. It is nevertheless true. And if you're lucky, like me, you get an opportunity to see that for yourself. Some of you are familiar with the Connecting All Hearts meditations that I do once a month. Those meditations are based upon this concept. The meditation, as many of you know, grew from my 5-month-long stay in a nursing home. I was recovering my ability to sit up on my own. I mean, you could sit me up and I would fall over. I was just, all my muscles stopped working, and my legs wouldn't move, my feet wouldn't move. I could move my hands and my head, but I needed to learn to move the rest of my body. And it was a long slog getting there. And I was completely dependent on the nurses for everything I did: eating, a glass of water, brushing my teeth, I would have to ask for them because they didn't do it automatically except for the food. They didn't do anything automatically. You had to ask for help, which was, boy, that was a lesson for me. I don't like to ask for help so much. So the thing is, when I arrived in the nursing home, the nurses there, they were already way overworked. And they didn't necessarily welcome this hairless woman who needed so much from them. Um, some of them were wonderful, but a lot of them were anything but cheerful. Um, to have me added to their chores, right? You've heard me tell the story. It was difficult to be helpless, but you know what was more difficult? It was more difficult. It was most difficult to be dependent, to experience the annoyance they felt when I needed something. I tried not to ask for very much. I'm not a person who enjoys asking in the first place, so I would save up things to ask for and ask for things. And I would ask humbly, and I would get an attitude sometimes, an exasperated, eye roll or whatever, like, ugh. And for me, that was excruciating. Oh my gosh, that was worse than being paralyzed, believe it or not. I was very triggered by this. I didn't feel good about myself, and I didn't like those ladies that much either. Um, they seemed disgusted by me. So I didn't feel so kindly toward them. Um, and after a bit of time, of course, dealing with being triggered and frustrated and annoyed and frankly ashamed, I realized, you know what? I don't like feeling like this. I have to change the way because I had tried to change them with no effect. But I thought the only person I can change is myself. So I did. I asked for help. I asked God for help, and this meditation was given to me and to change the way I was responding to them. It's a meditation in which I connected on the light plane consciously, one at a time, with the nurses who that day had maybe triggered me. Pardon me, because the light plane is what's real. These costumes we're wearing in this lifetime, they are important and they are a learning tool, but they are not reality. I decided to connect with what was real. And what's real is what's happening on Indra's net. I keep trying to appropriate his net. But a long story short, when I did that, miracles ensued. It changed the way I was feeling, which is what I was going for, because feeling like that is just not healthy. And so, but wonder of wonders, the nurses that I meditated with on the light plane, they they changed the way they felt about me, and that was a surprise. I didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't know that I had communed with them on the light plane with their higher selves, but something subtle shifted when I shifted. And by the time I left that place, and I was there, like I said, for 5 months, it was a love fest on that floor. We all loved each other. So Indra's net connects us in a way that we are not taught to be aware of, but it is more real than what we see with our bodies and our physical eyes. Um, I was doing a version of Indra's Net, and if you listen to the Connecting All Hearts meditation this month, you know that recently I've been joining in with other weekly meditations that are done by another group called the Grandmothers. And this has been just lovely. I have enjoyed it so much. The meditation is on what they call the net of light, right? It's the same thing as Indra's net. It's the matrix. It's all the same thing, different metaphors for the same foundational truth. And that truth is we're all interconnected and we affect all of life with everything we do, everything we feel, everything we believe, with our attitudes. We as light workers, we have a job to do, don't we? We have seen movies and plays and heard stories all our life that about the metaphor of the battle of the light versus the dark. And it comes sometimes in, you know, detective movies, but it's the same thing. And we've been taught to think of that battle as physical somehow. But there are no swords or bombs or assault rifles that will change reality. The thing that will change reality is us meditating on the light plane and connecting and loving each other. It's so very powerful. We are, as I don't have to tell you, we are living in a difficult time. Now, I personally believe that we were called to, that we agreed to be here in this time to help out. We didn't know what we were getting into on a conscious level, but I think in our unconscious we do know, and we know that we're supposed to do something about it. We are supposed to bring the knowledge of God and love to Indra's net and reflect it, because what's being reflected in the general population is also affecting us. That's the real battle of dark versus light. It's not swords and bombs. It's not detective stories. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It's not even Star Wars. It's love versus fear. That's all it is. And all of that is reflected if we make the effort to love and do it consciously. And if you do it consciously and think about the net of light when you're doing it, um, you have the effect. You can have the same effect that I had when I was in the nursing home. I would not give up my experience in the nursing home for anything. Now, I didn't think I chose to be paralyzed. It's not something I would choose again, but I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't give up that experience for anything. So, the work we're doing here is of such importance that I really don't know how to emphasize it enough. Whenever you get a chance to meditate or to just close your eyes and send love along the strands of Indra's net, whenever you get a chance to do a kindness with love in your heart, take that chance. Now, I have just decided that I'm going to be doing occasional Facebook Live meditations. I don't even know how to do it yet, but I'm going to go on there every once in a while. And if you see me on there, if you happen to be on Facebook, jump on, meditate with me. It'll only take a few minutes. I'm going to create a shortened meditation and I'm going to just do it every once in a while. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Nobody has to, you don't have to do it. I don't have to lead it for it to be important. I encourage you to do this on your own. But if you happen to be on Facebook, stop and meditate with me as I do that and intend light, intend love. You have no idea how much you are needed in the world today. You have no idea how much you are needed. And those of us who are sensitive, super sensitive perhaps, we have more remembrances and reminders to do this. And that may be the reason we are so sensitive. It's because when we feel these things, when we are triggered by what's going on in the world, we can remember in that moment, we can say, let me close my eyes for a moment and intend love along and send that along the strands of the net. It's a wonderful meditation. and it's a wonderful visualization. I'm going to do meditation now, and we're going to meditate upon the version of the grandmother's net of light. Indira's net, Indra's net, and the matrix. It is Indira's net. I'm sorry, it is Indira's net, but Indra's net is the metaphor. So let's do that. Let's relax now and let yourself be supported by the net of light. In whatever space you are in right now. Breathing in this present moment and calling in and honoring the elements. We begin with earth in our bodies, breathing in through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the nose. This is the earth breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. Connecting with earth. Then we connect with the water in our veins. In through the nose and out through the mouth. The water breath. Next, we connect with the air of our breathing. In through the mouth and out through the mouth. The air breath. And we connect with the fire in our hearts. In through the mouth and out through the nose. Fire breath. And finally, the most subtle of all the elements, ether. That place of everything and nothing. And this is where the net of light resides. Picture the net of light now from the eye of your heart. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. A very subtle, refined breath, the ether breath. Continue breathing ether breath. The grandmothers have said that this is the net of light that will hold the earth during these times of change which have come upon us. Everything is shifting now, but the net of light is steady, and it embraces, embodies, and holds everything that lives. And when you picture this great net of light, find a place where two of the strands come together and take your place. Your place feels right for you, just right. So sit down here in your place and let the net of light hold you. Breathe with it. Vibrate with it. You are in harmony with the net of light, and that means you are deeply connected to it. In fact, the net of light is lit from the radiance of your own heart. And the great love that flows out from us to the net of light immediately flows back into us, giving us everything we need. It's a beautiful dance, this dance of the universe, this give and take. So, right now, we think of our union with all of those around the planet that are working with the net of light, working with the light within their own hearts to bless all beings. We connect with them. We connect with the sacred and holy places on our planet that are constantly charging the atmosphere of light and agreeing with us as we do. And we connect with the great beings, the great saints, the sages, and the avatars who gladly give their lives in service. We connect with the ancestors who are no longer here in physical form, but whose love goes on and whose wishes are still to help and serve and bless. And together in light, we cast the net of light to the human family, asking that wherever there is suffering, wherever there is deprivation and strife, wherever there's fear and grief and anger, we ask that the net of light penetrate even more deeply. And we cast to all those who feel alone and alienated, letting them know they are deeply connected in love and light and that they matter. That every human being, adults and children of any gender identity, receive what they most need. We cast the net of light to the leaders of our world. We cast to our ancestors and our successors, that all may be held forever and always within this embrace of love and light. We call in and acknowledge even the nature spirits who guide and inform and connect us to the vibrant and abundant life that is everywhere we look and in places that we don't look. And with their blessings and assistance, we cast to the animal kingdom, the furred and the finned and the feathered, even the creepy crawlies. We ask that every animal receive what they most need. We cast to the plant kingdom, to the mineral kingdom, to the very mycelial network beneath our feet. We cast the net of light to everything that lives and asking that blessings flow forth everywhere. Together we ask, may everyone in all the world be happy. May everyone in all the world be happy. May everyone in all the happy. Om. Peace. 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 I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the work you just did. You may not notice it on the earth plane, but you have very much made a difference, a needed difference on the light plane. I love you. So please unmute yourselves if you want to. And this is a time for us to talk with each other and ask, I want to ask you how you experienced the net of light and what struck you most about the lesson, but also what's going on with you. And I just want to say, I'm so tickled pink to see Ursula here from Sweden. And that was just a nice surprise. And Chandra Devi, Margaret, I am so happy to see you here too, and everyone. So welcome. And let me just ask some, well, just who wants to speak up? If you don't want to speak up, of course, you know that I will call on you.
I'd like to speak, Indira. I have had to miss the last couple of songs, and I'm just so very glad to be back, and thank you for that wonderful meditation. I really felt connected with everyone around the planet, and it was just so uplifting, and it's just great to see everyone's faces. And I send everybody lots of love.
Yeah, we missed you for the last couple of weeks. I'm so glad to see your face again, Ishwari. It's wonderful to see you. Ursula, share with us something so that we get to know you. How did you experience the net of light, or what? Just speak about whatever you want to.
Well, thank you so much first for your lovely welcome, and I'm so happy to reconnect with my wonderful soul family. So I'm so happy to be here with you and with you all. And the meditation was wonderful. Yeah, I imagined the net, and then I really could sense it. And yeah, it was so delightful to feel this peace, this really peace filled with light. So it just has such a sweetness and softness, and it's wonderful. I love your meditations, your connecting heart meditations, and I loved also the conclusion or the end with the beautiful singing, and it was so tender and just such a blessing, and the connection with the light family, so to speak. It's just thank you so much. And you may ask me a question, because right now I don't have anything specific.
Okay. Yeah. What's going on with you? What tell us a little bit about what's going on with you there across the pond.
Across the pond in Switzerland. Well, I've been myself on a very rich journey, so to speak. You were speaking from your extremely in-depth experience, and well, I had such thing going on myself. So the Connecting Hearts meditation was really something that helped me in the meantime to connect back to you and then really kind of set things right. You know what you
Yeah.
said, it's just the light is the only truth, and then it's really, if we can connect like this meditation today again to the light and the love, of course, that connects us all in our wonderful soul family, then it's really, yeah, then we can breathe at the time, you know, if we experience something challenging. And so that's so worth, so precious. And to me, well, I'm concrete. I'm still have my job. I work with kids, and what you just said before, I definitely want to share more of the, yeah, maybe something like a meditation, or I'm with the world, and I'm working on that to build my own work, so to speak. And I think I'm slowly coming to the point that I dare to share myself a little bit more openly. So it was a journey to that. So yeah.
That was wonderful. I think that is so important that children, you know, she's not here today, but my student Manisha, who's also my stepdaughter, she has been raising her children to have a deeper understanding of life. And I am so in awe of that. And so, because I know, I can see that they are going to know with a capital K more than any, than I did, certainly, and most children do, because they're being given these metaphors and stories that show them the connectedness of life. And she's been doing that. I think what you're doing is so important. They are children, they really kind of know anyway. I mean, they are so willing to be there with you with that. And if they're allowed to think it consciously, if nobody tells them, oh, you're just dreaming and that is not real, then they will grow up realizing, making real those things that we all just hope to see in our manifest reality, right? So I love that. I love that. Chandra Devi, tell me what's going on with you, love. I haven't seen you for a long time.
It's been since, well, first of all, thank you so much. I really have been trying to get on these satsangs since you started them. But the meditations, I can't live without them when things are really tough. That's my go-to, like it's like in my toolkit. So those are the one that I will pull that out, just sometimes even just to hear your voice. I might not even know what you're saying, but I do, I do know what you're saying, but sometimes just the voice alone is enough.
Yeah.
Because so I'll just put it kind of, okay, so to people this is my first time here. So I'm just gonna introduce myself. I live in New York. Well, actually, I don't live in New York anymore. I just moved to New Jersey, like literally, let's see, it was today. I moved officially on the 1st of this month. But we were able to get into the home, which we absolutely love, on the 15th. So I'm a little bit, frazzled, but I'm just telling you how it is. But I couldn't miss this today because I was ready today. I wasn't ready before.
Now, moving is very, it's very disruptive to your flow, and you're charging yourself and getting new flows, but it's hard to create a space for something like this sometimes when you're in the midst of the upheaval.
Well, I was ready. I was ready before too. I think what happens to me is I make my list for the day, and this is on it, and things happen, and I put my stuff that I really want to do, like, on the back burner.
Yeah.
So today, I wasn't going to miss this, because not only I wasn't going to miss it, because it actually came through as a text, and it was really easy for me to click on it and just go. I didn't have to go through an email. No, it was made it that much more.
Yeah.
just really accessible. And I was nervous too, like just nervous. I just was nervous because I don't do Zoom hardly. I only did Zoom maybe a few times with my family. Like just recently, we just started doing a family Zoom on once a month on Sundays, but that I'm not in the world of Zoom like most people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go about all this whole thing, but I just want to say thank you. And I'm just so excited to hear other people speak too, because one of my best friends actually is from Switzerland. So can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I said Switzerland, but she's actually from Sweden. And I always say,
Oh, Sweden too. I mean, either way, because Sweden's my next door neighbor. Like, no,
No,
I
no,
mean, like, I'm Norwegian and English. So,
no, I'm
oh,
from Switzerland. Switzerland is right. Switzerland.
oh, it is.
oh,
Okay.
it's
I
Switzerland.
got it
Okay.
mixed up twice then. I never get it right for some
You know what? We always do. Everybody
And you
gets
always
Sweden and
forgive me.
Switzerland mixed up. It happens all the time. All the
You
time. I
always-
still do.
Do you? Isn't that terrible?
I
But-
always relate Switzerland with chocolate and Sweden with snow.
Ah.
Sweden with snow.
Okay.
It's chocolate.
Well, we have good chocolate, that's for sure.
Yes, yes, yes.
Swiss
No, I'll
chocolate.
never
Wait,
forget.
like Swiss Miss chocolate. You know what I mean? And then Sweden could be like snow, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Switzerland snow too, but Swiss Miss chocolate.
Yeah, I will never forget it. No, I will see you get a
No,
cup of Christmas chocolate. I'll never forget Switzerland. So
because I have to have those associations too. I get it mixed up too.
thank you.
Right.
That was helpful. Who else has something to say?
Okay.
Vishwa, you're on mute, of course. She's there.
Was
We
having a
go.
little difficulty there. I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
sorry that
Fine.
it's loud and I'm driving in the car, but it's like we channel beforehand. I loved your meditation. I will come back and actually do the meditation when I can close my eyes. But I had the beautiful opportunity of holding space for you guys and listening and seeing how I can apply it with my eyes open. And I'm driving and I'm picturing all of these people with their own lights inside of them, driving in their own ways in this web, and how we can connect and send love. So I drive a lot. I drive up to my dad on the weekends to visit him. And I have often thought about the lives of all the people around and how they have their own lives and their own drama and their own thing. And I send love out in the car a lot. And I do believe it helps my spiritual practice because I'm doing it for hours at a time, and it's like a deep meditation. But you took me to a different level of synergy with it and connecting it, and I can actually see how I can apply this in my life 24/7. And it just made it very, very tangible to me on a real, like a mental plane, physical plane, like all of it aligned for me. So a massive meditation for me, Indira, and I am forever grateful for you and these learnings that I get from you when I come in. So thank you for that.
You are so very welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Samyama taught
And
me
I now hand.
when I was driving across the country. Samyama taught me to brush with an ultraviolet light in my mind, of course, to brush all the streets as I traveled so that I could clean up all of the negativity as I traveled across the country.
Wow,
Isn't that cool?
that's
Yeah, so
beautiful.
what you said
Yeah.
reminded me of that.
I chant, actually. I chant in the car a lot. So now I'm learning Hawaiian chants, but I do a lot of Om Namah Shivaya, or I have some seed chants that were given to me in prior, moments. And I just find that my heart is so clear, my mind is becoming so clear. I'm really just progressing at a very different level. So it's just but this is powerful. I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to lay the matrix and the net down when I'm having a problem with somebody, even across the country or something at work, and be able to send loving energy and light and communication and freedom, and see how it's going to affect my work, and see how it's going to affect, you know, like everything I do. So yeah, I'm truly grateful to you. Thank you.
It's been
Yeah.
miraculous in my life, that's for sure. And
Is this too loud?
Pardon me, go
Can you
ahead.
hear my car? Should I mute? I'm very conscious of that.
No, I can't
No,
hear you.
okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I can't hear you.
You were going to say something.
I was going to say,
I'm
at
sorry.
the time, I didn't really think of it as a net. I thought of it as an individual, and I thought of that person's higher self, and
Yes, yeah.
I imagined them as a body of light, and my own body of light would take their hand, and I would look into their eyes, and I would say, help me to love you as you need to be loved. And I would do that until I felt my own heart lighten, because I started out being pissed off. You know, but I did that until I felt love. And when I felt love, and it was like, okay, now I can sleep. You know, now, and I did it before I go to bed at night, and I would sleep like a baby then, instead of just laying there and being all annoyed and frustrated. So and then I was amazed the next day that they loved me. I was like, wait, what happened here? You know, that was not even the point, but it just worked like that. So yeah. Anyway, Kanika, beloved, I'm so happy to see your face.
Thank you so much for the beautiful meditation today. I also was not going to miss this. I went back to work last night and did not stay out very late at all, and not feeling very happy about it, honestly.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Kanika's just been in a horrible accident. Her car was totaled, and you couldn't believe anybody walked away from it. And she did, but she was off work for a while, and she's just gone back to work. And it's scary to go
It
back.
is.
Drives the car.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scary. I know.
Lots
So
of
thank
triggers.
Yeah.
We got you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for saying that. We got you.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
I love you too so much. I'm grateful that you showed us your beautiful face. Bala, that just leaves you, my love.
Well, thank you for that wonderful meditation and introducing us to that metaphor. I'd never heard of that before, but it was really, really consistent and congruent with what I'm going through right now.
Mm.
And what that is, this experience that I'm having, and I'm having this deepening of devotion to the welfare of others, and a release of like the ego clinging to attachments that used to be an obstacle to that. And this meditation today was just such a solidifier and such a integration of that. So I'm really grateful. Thank you for that. And I want to second also how handy it is to just get a text to find out, and an easy to click Zoom link is really super, because I think when the weekend hits, email, I've got an anchor that emails for work, so I don't want to open it.
Right.
So thank you for that too. That's
Oof,
wonderful.
I hear you there.
Right.
One of the things that happened to me just recently is so I think it's funny because like this experience I'm having of being more connected to this like more connected to this devotion for the welfare of others just feels like the culmination of the experiences of my life and growth. And so I've got an 8-year-old son, and his name is Henry, and just the other day, and he's just the sweetest kid, and just the other day he said, "Daddy, I'm feeling down." And I said, "Oh buddy, do you want to talk about it? Tell me what's going on." And he says, "Daddy, I just don't feel like I could be helpful to others as much as I want to be." And
my
just
God.
my heart just melted. Like, what 8-year-old's thinking like that, you know? And so I talked to him about feelings and how, how it's okay to feel your feelings. And I talked to him about how you can also look to the evidence sometimes. And, I said, hey, well, look, remember when you helped Daddy out with that earlier? And he starts to smile a little bit. And then I said, well, yeah, and you remember, he's very proud because I just taught him how to make coffee. No, make coffee. Now I've got a push button espresso machine, so there's not much to it, but it's an accomplishment for him. So I said, you remember when you went and you made coffee for Daddy earlier? And then he starts smiling some more, and then he's just so effusive. He says, Daddy, thank you so much for talking to me. I feel so much better. And then and then a little bit later, he says he wants to cuddle and we're hugging, and he says, you're a good dad. And I don't know. I mean, like, that's the most remarkable event in my recent past, but then there was just so much. I don't know. I'm kind of amazed by him, and it's just so much fun. So that's what's going on with me.
I
I
can't
like where
imagine
you
anything
are.
better.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying, I'm sorry. I just like the background and the woods.
Oh, whatever do you mean? It is. It's wonderful. I'm at a ridge out of the Palisades in Vinings, Georgia. And yeah, I found this place. It's overlooking the river, and you can see the skyline of Atlanta from here. And nobody ever comes up here. So this has turned into my office away from home. I'll come up here and work or read or I don't know. What a sweet deal. It's just found it just about.
Yeah, I love the sound of the birds. It's great.
I think I thought it was a filter. That is so cool that you're actually there. Wow.
That's where that's my other toolkit besides Indira. That's serious. If I don't get in nature, I'm toast.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I'm that way with the beach. And this last 2 years, I just haven't been able to go much. And man, I miss it so much. In fact, we were on our way to the beach on the 1st of May, and got up at the crack of dawn and packed our clothes, packed the food in the cooler, and packed all the stuff, packed the dogs, packed even my bonsai tree, which was like, I don't have anybody to take care of this. I'm gonna have to take it with me. And so I was like, we all this beach equipment, and we got everything. It was like there was no space left in that car. And
How far is
saw
the drive?
a call coming in,
Drive.
and I was like, I don't
Right.
know the number. So we got in the car, and then about 10 minutes down the road, I looked and I had a message, and the message was, they found bed bugs. You can't come.
Oh no.
So we had to turn around and come back and
No
unpack the car.
way.
And I was like, oh my stars, I can't believe that happened. But you know what really helped me is like, I know everything happens for a reason. I know that everything happens I love that verse in the Bible that says all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. And I believe that. I mean, look at what happened when I was in the nursing home. I was there for my good and for the good of the world. And, it didn't look like that if I had interpreted it that way. But that really helped me, because otherwise, I was disappointed. But we just came back, and we actually took the first opportunity, the first time we've been in a restaurant for a year and a half, I guess.
Wow.
And because I was gone for a while before that in Indiana. But yeah, we went out to a restaurant and just kind of sat there and let our emotions go, like, wow. Let's just think about what bullets we might have dodged by. Let's just assume we dodged a bullet. Let's just think about all the bullets we might have dodged. So
I have a question.
yeah.
How far are you, Indira, from your place in Atlanta to the ocean?
It's about 5 or 6 hours, depending on which
Okay.
ocean. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. This was Panama City.
Okay, so
north.
that's a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a drive. So at least we weren't halfway there. We were still in Atlanta. We were still in downtown Atlanta.
And truthfully, bed bugs are a bullet that is very hard to miss. Like if you get bed
Yes.
bugs, they're so pervasive. I know people who've thrown out all their clothes, all their this and that. I mean, if you brought that back, or the pets, like such a
Oh my
good
God.
thing that they actually caught it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
So
very good.
yeah,
That's very
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yep. So, but I really related to what you said, Bala, about wanting to release that which is in the way of wanting to be of help. I am feeling that same process going on within myself, and just another deeper level of that as I go, because I feel like I've let go of a lot of stuff, but I am being asked to let go even more now. And so I really related to what you said. It brought tears to my eyes. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
you're welcome. Well, it is, I forgot to get cards. Let me get my tarot cards real quick. We always do a card at the end of the session to get guidance for the rest of the week. But I usually have cards with me, and I don't, but I do have my tarot cards. So we're gonna ask Spirit to give us a message from the tarot cards that will be of use to everyone here. Hear it at your own level and take it with you, because Spirit will guide my hands and guide my thoughts. Picking from the middle of the deck. The Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is circles of support, which is so perfect for what we learned today, isn't it? Or what we uncovered today, I should say, because we all know this, but what we made real for a moment in our manifestation of it. So circles of support, reminding us to take advantage of those circles of support. Not only do we, as the meditation said, not only do we send love and kindness along the strands of the net, but when we do, it washes right back into our own hearts. So taking advantage of that and accepting and even asking for that support, as well as doing the kindness of supporting others. The pay it forward kindness, the paying a toll booth for somebody and saying have a good day, just doing something that doesn't mean anything except love, and also accepting that for yourself. That's our message for today. So Satgurnath Maharaj Jaya.